Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The crew is actually here together for the first time in a couple of weeks. Something like that. Something might have happened, but welcome to Scrambled episode number 10. We somehow made double digits. I'm Kazi.
Darnell.
Derek.
Let's just get into it. Introduction to Coach Rhoades.
This became home for us, and then the opportunity to come here with Shaka Smart was awesome. Nothing less than awesome. And those 5 years here with him, fell in love with this place even more. This was home. Our kids were born here. Our kids' friends were here. We had roots here.
Let us begin. After a long, eventful week in VCU athletics.
Exhausting.
Very. VCU got their 12th head coach of men's basketball, a familiar face to some of us, Mr. Coach Mike Rhoades, officially with VCU men's basketball. Let's just jump into it, talk about how we feel, background, everything. Just get it all out there.
Ooh, Mike Rhoades.
Good guy.
Former assistant under the head coach,
The
Shaka
great
Smart.
Shaka Smart.
Yeah, for
Now.
assistant associate coach, however you want to put it, for roughly 6 seasons. Left for Rice University, but going back to his days prior to VCU, former star at Lebanon Valley University, two-time All-American, jersey number 5, retired in the rafters, and then also went to Randolph-Macon, assistant coach there for
Just
3
up the
years,
road.
Yep.
and then 10 years there, had some success there as the top dog, as the head coach before coming to VCU. I mean, he even said in their original presser, he took his wife on the date to a VCU game. Dinner and a VCU game.
What a wonderful woman.
And that was before. That was even before he became
Hashtag
to VCU.
faithful. Hashtag Grand faithful right
you
there.
can tell he had a little bit of VCU in his heart well beforehand. Now he's back. I mean, and the
With a
biggest
tear in his eye. Oh, wait, no, that was his wife. Sorry.
Wrong.
Sorry.
But I know a lot of people will love this. Like I said earlier, players coach, especially that guy back there. You can't see him. James, he's a players coach. Y'all will like that.
I don't know who he's pointing to.
I don't know either. He's probably pointing to a
Y'all
different
know, they're just acting like stupid idiots. But Derek, tell us.
Woo!
Talk to me.
Well, yeah, I think it's important to point out what he did at Rice. You should
Yeah,
also
let's
3
put a
years.
more magnifying glass
That's
on that
probably
one.
the most important thing as far as coaching resume that he's done. The reason that Ed McLaughlin felt like he's worthwhile to bring to VCU. 3 years at Rice, a program that was historically is pretty terrible in the Conference USA.
Get your ass up.
2 12-20 seasons in his first 2 seasons. First year was a total rebuild. Next year, statistically, you could see things were
starting to
working,
roll
yes.
a little bit in the
And then
CUSA
year number
Rice.
3 culminated with a 23-12 season, and they were in the CBI where they won a game, got eliminated the
Utah
Monday
Valley.
Wade left. Awkward stuff there. But clearly, you look at it, a guy who turned an awful. They were terrible. They were like single digits for a couple years before he got there.
Ridiculously bad.
In
They
12
go
years.
12
in
wins, 12 wins, and then
Awful.
23, a school that's won 20 games. You could probably count on one hand the amount of times they've won more than 20 games in their entire season history, or season in their entire school history. So, modest numbers at Rice, but considering we're talking about Rice here,
Yeah.
very impressive stuff. And I think he has warranted the optimism that VCU fans have shown. I think they showed more optimism for this Rhoades hire than they did when a certain Will Wade was hired just a couple years ago.
Yeah, this was more like the emotional hire. Like, of course, everybody kind of got a little bit in question because in less than 48 hours, we went from losing a coach to LSU to hiring one from Rice.
A beloved one too, not
No,
just
beloved one. Yes,
Right.
very much. Everybody loves Rhoades. So this felt emotionally right because, when the hype was going about seeing if he was coming for a conference or coming to a meeting, you had like all the alumni basketball players like Rozelle and Maynard and Schuler and
Yep.
Weber like, make this happen. This is amazing. This is perfect. And then you had, seasoned fans, Ram fans were like, yeah, make this happen. This is awesome. And we're just like, this feels like it feels like a wedding. Basically, it felt like we needed a husband, and VC was the wife.
needed a
husband.
or whatever. Oh, that's maybe a bad
A significant
analogy.
other.
A significant other of choice. But it felt right. Like he's homebred, he's homegrown. He did what he did in D3. He did what he did with the opportunity at Rice very well, and he's came home. Like you can tell in the presser, like it felt like a homecoming type of ordeal,
and like a redemptive moment. A lot of VCU fans thought he should have got the call when Shaka left originally.
He was the favorite for that job.
Yep.
But here we are, a couple years after that. He's here now, so I think VCU fans.
After the most greatest heel turn in history.
Yes, it's certainly in VCU history. So I think they feel vindicated now. They got their guy in. Rhoades is here.
Number 12.
Things are going to be a little different now that Rhoades here.
Havoc is
More back than it was under Wade.
Yeah.
He is going to be a more similar coach to Shaka than Wade was by
I will give you that.
a lot.
By a mile.
Yes. I think Havoc will be back, but it will not be the same Havoc that we saw back in that Final Four run.
Yeah, hopefully we can get some more images of like Rose like getting after it in practice with some of the guys.
He got Justin Tillman to smile in a practice photo. If that's not progress, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Hopefully he still hates rims though. Tillman does.
Yeah.
But back to Havoc. I think Havoc, he said we're going to be fast. We're going to get to people. We're going to put pressure, and most importantly, we're going to win. But we saw with Wade the introduction of zone, which kind of worked.
Right. Well, it's important to note Wade
That's what I said,
had two very. A lot of people are going to kind of poo-poo what Wade did here.
Little poo-poo.
Yeah, but he kept the program
was
afloat.
extremely successful here.
Yes, very much so.
Objectively, there's no denying that. So his system worked too.
Yes.
But we're going to see a different system now. Rhoades is going to emphasize offense a little more. Got some numbers for you guys.
Same,
you
man.
look at his Rice team last year, averaged 81 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
VCU averaged 74 points a game. Not terrible, but then look at the shooting. And this is a little subjective because you wonder, we know VCU did not have very good shooters last year?
What? No.
It showed in the
I'm sorry
18
to break
tournaments.
that to you guys.
No.
But Rice could shoot the ball last season. 38% and 840 attempts. So not a small sample size. That attempt that's the 34th most attempts in the country. Shooting 38%. That's pretty efficient right there.
Pretty good.
VCU only shooting 602 threes, 266 in the nation. So on the end of the spectrum there, and only making 33% of them. So hopefully, obviously some of that has to do with players, but hopefully some of it is coaching philosophy. So we see some good shooting coming back to Richmond, and it wasn't necessarily Wade's fault.
No.
Personnel issues there.
Personal issues, talent,
But hopefully, the point is, Rhoades brings a more effective shooting-oriented game, whereas Wade had a inside-out game with an emphasis on inside.
Pounding
Right.
pay with Hamdi.
bro.
Rhoades won't have that option next year.
Yeah. He'll have Hamdi at least and Tillman, but
He won't have the
You won't have
monster.
the monster of Mo Alex
Yes.
Cox in there.
we won't have a three-headed monster. And also going back to what you said about the team Rhoades had at Rice, they were one of 7 teams in the country to have 2 scorers that average 18 points or more. And Marcus Evans, and I'm sorry if I butcher this man's name, but Igor Kulichov, he averaged 18 points a game, 9 rebounds at 6'5". At 6'5", he was getting that many rebounds. They played a very small ball lineup.
Say that one more time. The name.
Igor Kulichov.
So wrong, but go ahead.
It probably is.
But you correct him.
I'm sorry.
I can't do it.
But
That's funny.
like I said, they had a very small starting lineup. One player that was 6'7". Everybody else was shorter than that. And also, they only had 3 sophomores in that starting lineup and 2 redshirt juniors. They had 1 senior on that team, and he only averaged about 4 minutes a game. So with a relatively young lineup, he had some success there. So in
You know
this
what that lineup
season,
reminds me of?
shoot.
Stephen F. Austin when they beat VCU in 2014. Very small team, but very good. They had a lot of guys that are great rebounders at a smaller size, or like Marquise Moore this year for Mason.
Or Dayton when they went to the Elite Eight.
But the real question is, did they have any lumberjacks on the roster? I'm sorry, I didn't.
They probably wouldn't have done very well if they did.
Probably not.
But see, Darnell, you're right. He did a lot with some
And next
smaller
year
guys.
would've probably
This
been
year
the
he's
year
going to
he
have
would've been
the best athletes he's had as a head coach.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, next year he probably
what
had
can he
a
do
good
with
year
that?
at Rice. probably NCAA tournament year to compete with Middle Tennessee in the Conference USA. Just saying.
I mean, if you're looking at the current roster right now, we're not confirming anything right now. Like, everybody seems to still be on board staying.
Well, I think
But
Crowfield
yeah.
and Jenkins have reaffirmed.
yeah, like Jenkins and Crowfield and Dowdy, like everybody.
Dowdy's already burned a redshirt year.
Yeah.
So not
Van's
much.
already burned a redshirt year.
Right.
Could
So
happen.
looking at
It's
the
all
cur-
speculation.
Right.
though.
There's a lot of
But
speculation.
let's look at
let's like looking at
what
the
we have
current
now.
roster like we know right now.
But look at the players that are coming in. That's going to be
that's
the biggest thing.
speculation.
Yeah, but we're looking at the
Right,
current
right.
roster right now. Like, you have Dowdy, slasher. You have Tillman, dunker, rimmer, highlight, rim, shaker. You got Duriante, who can, support from three, support from mid-range.
You got Van, who's a scorer.
You got Vans to score. You got Malik for more support outside. You have Johnny Williams, Mr. Running back, fullback, and all for the NFL, ready to drive into the paint with some
star
extra
point
glaze.
guard. Star point
Star point guard, but could be a different career choice, but we never know. So there's plenty of weapons on offense for
Lot of toys.
VCU at Coach Rhoades' disposal right
And
now.
he's an offensive. It appears
And he's
to
an
be
offensive-minded coach.
Yep.
Right.
Defensively, not terribly impressive at Rice. But here's what I think, and this is a very Homer thing to say, is you'd think a VCU fan would say this at this moment. But I think this team is set up to succeed better for Rhoades style than it would have been next year for Wade style. I
Yes.
think that the pure athletes
Absolutely.
on this team there's a lot of positionless players on this team, a lot of guys that can defend versatilely, that offensively are versatile. So let's just play fast, have them go up and down the court and be better athletes than teams.
Yeah.
And I think that's that's more of Rhoades style than his Wade's.
Yeah, with the loss of Mo, basically, that's no offense, Wade, but that's basically half your offense gone out the window.
There would have been
for
a lot of question
graduation.
marks next year.
Yeah, because you would have Tillman and Hamdi. You still want, and granted, they're very good
Right,
at
but
getting.
Mo got the attention.
Mo got the attention because 285 pounds of
You better
pure
pick him
muscle.
up in
You
the
better
post.
guard that man. But with Rhoades, it's like he's thinking more, outside, mid range. Like, you can still get into the paint if that lane's available, but he's thinking of more outside of
Tillman.
approach.
Yeah. And a much more versatile offense.
If Tillman shoots threes next season,
Well, we said he's gonna be the Naismith Player of the Year.
he's gonna be crispy from everywhere on the court.
Darnell, do you have anything that? I thought you were waiting to get in
You
there.
sound so
Tell me
depressed
just
there.
goes to the 3-point line. I'm done.
All right, Tillman's probably not gonna do that. Let's just try and.
I know.
We hope, but probably
We
not.
hope they'll be nice. But the biggest thing with me is just the guys that are coming in. We know those guys.
Lots of variables.
Yeah, a lot of variables there. Dominoes got to fall. A lot of
got
other
two.
factors.
We-
We got two, Sean Mobley and Marco Santos Silva. But
We're very happy about that.
Undecided. Ryan Kerr, we haven't heard anything from him. So we got to wait and see because Rose's job might not be done just yet.
Oh no,
No,
that's
it's a lot
far.
of recruiting to come. A lot of things. The last point, though, I want to make is Rhoades is going to be, I believe, the oldest coach VCU. He's only 44. The oldest coach VCU has hired
Not the young
in the last since before Anthony Grant, and possibly even further back than that. So my point is he's not an upper-comer necessarily looking to make his name and jump up. This, like Ed McLaughlin said, he wanted stability.
We're at a point now for our student athletes that we need a level of stability at someone who can coach at a really high level. And what we do well here is to invest in the student athletes really well. And I knew Mike from working with him and watching him coach at Rice now for a few years on television. His development as a coach has grown as well. So it's the right time for him. It was the right time for us. And it's the right time for our fans. But most importantly, it's the right time for our student athletes.
He hired a guy who seems willing to settle down and give this program stability. So I think that's huge.
I think it's definitely huge in this situation because most fans are sick, and VCU fans, of course, are tired of seeing.
We're heartbroken.
Yeah, I mean, let's be face it. The whole situation was just awful, ridiculous, obnoxious.
Never seen so much hate on Twitter.
Tired of being the bridesmaid.
Shaka Smart's legacy just got a spotlight because of this.
It shouldn't have needed it, but
it got
yes,
it.
he is now spotless.
Yeah.
He's
like,
you can't
Hands are clean.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yep.
cool. But back to the point. But most fans are tired of seeing, their coaches come for a few years and then quickly out the door because the big school got, more money, better deal, better stuff like that. Resources and all that stuff. With Rhoades, it feels right because he's a homer. B, he said all the right stuff. And he solidified, like, I'm here for the players. Like, he even said in his speech, I'm here to serve you, to make you better players, better husbands, better students, better everything as a man. And you also have a guy that's been around the block, got experience, got stability, played the game. And of course, like you said, he's not a young up-and-comer gun type of coach. He's, got some age, but he also wants to continue working and prove a point that, hey, he still belongs here. And so I think seeing that basically gives fans hope that, hey, we can get a long-term coach that probably can stay more than 6, 7, maybe even double-digit years. Hopefully.
That's the idea. That's the idea with Rhoades. So, Kazi, why don't you send us in the off-season? Hopefully one of many off-seasons we have under Coach Rhoades.
Hopefully. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching episode number 10. I'm not sure how we did this, but we did. Thank you for your support. Other than that, follow us on Facebook at VCU Sports, on Twitter at VCU Sports, and all of our lovable Instagram photos and videos at VCU Sports RVA. For our personal Twitter accounts, I am at Shadow Kaze.
I hate Darnell.
You changed
You
it?
changed it?
Yep.
Oh,
Okay, I'm at Derek Marion.
Oh, that was a game changer. 10 episodes, got a good game changer.
Yep. Right off into the sunset, guys.
All right.
With hate. All the hate.
And everybody knows I'm a kid from the coal region of Pennsylvania, and that's never going to change. But this is home.